Now, in a bad sign for the Obama administration, the president's popularity bounce from the killing of Osama bin Laden has been eaten away by economic concerns.
A Washington Post survey shows high gas prices and slumping house values have got Americans increasingly depressed about their economy and also disillusioned about the government's management of it. So to look behind the numbers, Washington correspondent Craig McMurtrie spoke to senior pollster Carroll Doherty from the Pew Research Centre.
It's not surprising that this poll bounce would dissipate. The economy is still the number one issue. Certainly people focused on the Osama bin Laden killing when it happened. But that was several weeks ago, and the economy is in people's lives every day, and things are looking worse. Just in the last week, we've seen a spate of really negative economic stories about housing, the job situation. Even the market dropped a bit last week, and we're going to be releasing a poll tomorrow, in fact, showing that the types of economic news people hear. We ask a question: are you hearing good news, bad news, or mixed news about the economy? Percentage hearing bad news has gone way up just in the last 3 weeks.
The President has said today that he isn't worried about the danger of a double-dip recession. Do Americans agree with him? What are your polls telling you about that issue?
They're pessimistic and cautious at the same time, and most people tell us that the recovery is a long way off. We haven't gotten explicitly to that question yet. We probably will over the next couple of weeks, whether the economy is headed back down to a recession. But I suspect if you ask that question today, you'd get a significant number saying yes.
Well, this Washington Post poll said 6 in 10, nearly 6 in 10, say the economy is yet to recover. That seems extraordinarily high.
That's about consistent with what we've been finding, and it's a recovery that's been kind of slow moving and really yet to take hold. And the public recognizes that. The public's sense of kind of the broad economic issues, very acute sense we're finding. I mean, they pick up the bad news very quickly.
I want to talk about Afghanistan briefly. This Washington Post poll says that 43% of those surveyed believed the war was worth fighting. Now that's up from 31% in March. But nearly 3 in 4 also want a substantial drawdown. That's the bottom line there. The president, over the next month or so, will have to face the decision of how quick a drawdown, how many troops he's going to withdraw. There seems to be kind of a growing bipartisan sentiment, and it's coming from a number of factors. You first have the Osama bin Laden killing, which of course changed the dynamics, at least from the public's perspective. And then you have the budget crisis at home. I mean, we're putting out a poll today on the debt and deficit, and one of the suggestions that wins bipartisan approval is the idea of reducing military commitments overseas. People draw a direct link between the money that's being spent in Afghanistan and Iraq and Libya with the debt at home. And I think that's a powerful factor there, and could influence public opinion polls even more as we go over the next month and this debate really gets underway over what to do in Afghanistan. So what measure will you be watching for in the months ahead that will tell us most about Barack Obama's chances in 2012?
I think it's not there've been several newspaper articles about what the magic number of unemployment percentage is for re-election. It's not the number, it's the direction. It's where it's going. If it's flat or rising, he's in serious trouble. If it's declining, even at a high level, say 8.7, 8.5, 8.3%, if it's coming down, as it was coming down for Ronald Reagan's re-election in 1984, he's in much stronger shape. He really needs to get the economy moving again. The idea that after all these years, and it's been several years, the public has had this gloomy economic outlook, the fact that this is still the case almost 3 years after he took office, that's the biggest liability. That's the biggest challenge he faces.